So today I decided to mess with my status effect build, and I'm telling you, I finally found something I like running a little bit more than what I had before. Now I believe I lost a little bit of damage, but the spread of the status effects is just too much to pass up. And if you look at this massive chaos I'm causing right here, and this is in group play. And not only that, I'm going to show you I had the most damage and I was barely ever shooting my weapon. It's just because of the amount of damage I do with this build and how it spreads damage to so many enemies. It's just one of those great crowd control builds. And if you guys have been looking for a build like this to run in group play, well, this is the build for you. I'm able to keep the enemies from running around, and I'm able to spread that insane amount of damage of status effects from my fire starter to anyone within an 8-meter radius. So we'll get into the build in just a second, but I just want to show you this gameplay. It's just so impressive to look at that these guys never had a chance of coming out. And this was on heroic, so we had a lot of enemies keep spawning, but if you notice, they just couldn't do anything. Just so much status effect keeping them in place. We also had the burn spreading towards them, and then our teammates could just lay down that damage. But even with that, I was still able to have the most damage in this mission. And let's take a look at it. So if you notice, I had the most damage at 876 million, and I also had 63 kills, more than anyone on my team. And that's why I'm kind of in love with this build, for the reason I can crowd control everything and still able to lay down a lot of damage with my status effects. But let's show you the build so you guys can see how to build it yourself. Now don't forget guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, always leave a thumbs up, and if you guys are new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so that way you guys can catch any video once I release it on the fly. Alright guys, let's dive into it. So the first thing you guys want to make sure you guys have is a technician launcher. Now this is going to give you that one skill tier, and it also has a spot to give you 10% skill damage. Now it's great for a lot of skill builds, so it's the specialization you're going to want to use. For the weapon, we have the test subject. Now this is great for skill builds because it comes with perfectly in sync, and as you guys know, that allows you to gain an additional 40% skill damage on your build as long as I'm hitting them with my weapon itself, and also another 40% weapon damage. So it's pretty good right there. This one has 72,000 damage, 700 RPM, 50 round mag. We have assault rifle, health damage, damage to targets out of cover. Just a really great AR to add to your skill builds. For my secondary, I'm running the pestilence, but you can run anything you would like. For the mask, we have the vial mask, and this starts off our builds: skill tier, status effects, hazard protection, and then we have skill haste on here. Now why this mask is so good is because of the talent toxic delivery. Status effects also apply a damage over time debuff for 10 seconds, and the total damage is dealt is equal to 50% of your concussion grenade damage, but it's increased by your status effect attributes, which we will have rolled all throughout this build. So probably if you're looking for a status effect damage build, the vial mask is going to be one of those pieces you might want to think to put on it. For the chest piece, we have the Eclipse protocol. We are running the 4-piece, so that's going to give us 15% status effects. We do get 15% skill haste and 30% hazard protection, but the 4-piece is what we want. Your status effects now spread on kill to all enemies within 10 meters and refreshes 50% of the duration. Now we do have skill tier on here, status effects, skill haste mod, so that's ideally what you're going to want to go with. Every piece rolled status effects and then get those skill haste mods so you can get that chem launcher back quicker. Now since we are running the chest piece, we do have a chest piece talent, so this increases the indirect transmission from 10 meters to 15 meters, and also the refresh percentage from 50% to 75%. That's why I actually like running this chest piece than another different chest piece that would give me a talent itself. For our holster, we're running our second piece of Eclipse protocol. We have skill tier and status effects. For the knee pads is our third piece of Eclipse protocol with skill tier and status effects. Our gloves will be the 4-piece of Eclipse with skill tier and status effects. And then the backpack, the Golden Gear backpack, this has 10% status effects from the 1-piece. We have armor on here because we're allowed to do that because we do have the 1 skill tier from the specialization. We have armor regen. I would rather have skill haste here. We do have skill damage, and then we have a skill haste mod. Now the talent I decided to go with was creeping death. When you apply a status effect, it also applies to all enemies within 8 meters of your target. And why that is so good is it will cause all my status effect skills to spread the status of, and that's what's amazing with this, and that's how I'm able to crowd control and still put out a lot of damage. And as you're seeing here is as soon as I throw out the shock trap, right, and then I hit him with the fire starter, Just look at the damage, look at the status effects just spreading to every single one of them. And that's how I get so much damage at the end of the missions, because I constantly have statuses spreading to all the enemies because of the creeping death, and then of course with indirect transmission. Now you could have a wyvern piece, but that will give you 10% skill damage versus the status effects. And with this build, we want to really increase the amount of status effects we have on there, because that also helps out the biomask itself. For the skills, you did see we were using the shock trap. Remember, that shock duration is going to be 8.4 seconds with a radius of 4.2 meters. Now this also is improved because it does work with creeping death. As you guys saw when I did shoot shock one, it was shocking the other. We do have a 5% duration and a 7% shock radius mod on there. Now we are running the fire starter. Now this is going to give us burn damage of 271,000, burn duration 11 seconds, and the initial damage is 542,000. So a lot of damage coming from this setup. Now I know the first question a lot of you guys asked, does it work in group play? It's amazing in group play because you have so many more enemies that the shock trap actually works better than when you're in just solo play. And since you do have other members shooting, it allows you to really just focus on spreading your statuses. And if you set the build up perfectly, you'll have no problem competing with everybody at the very end for damage numbers, because you're gonna have that damage there. So hopefully you guys find this build useful. If you guys did, hey man, smash a thumbs up. Remember, you can watch me playing all of my builds on twitch.tv/nothingbutskills. So don't be scared, head over there. And if you have any questions on the Division 2 and I'm playing another game, don't be scared to ask. You can pretty much ask anything you guys would like in those comments. So hopefully I see you guys over there, twitch.tv/nothingbutskills. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this version of that status effect build. And I gotta say, I love seeing the shock trap go off and just shock everybody. It's just amazing. And really being able to control where the enemy goes when they come out of doorways, when they come out of hallways, and you throw that shock trap out there and it just shocks everybody because of how this build is set up. It's pretty cool. Well, it's that time. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. Any questions, use the comment section down below. But hopefully I'll see you guys around. But until the next one, Nothing But Skills is out.
Munitions factory is out of action and they lost a